Hi, Mark Dietel here with Mark Dietel Realty. And if you're considering buying or selling a home, say this summer, we're sitting here going into the summer of 2026, there's something really important that you need to know. The question all revolves around what happens to the buyer's agent commission. Do I still, as a seller, need to pay the buyer's agent commission? So again, if you haven't done that in a couple of years, I want to go over two key points. I want to go over it from the perspective of a buyer and the buyer agent, and go over it from the perspective of the seller and the listing agent. So number one, it's important for you to know and to understand what happened. 2 years ago, a major lawsuit was settled by the National Association of Realtors, and it basically required a change in how commissions are handled. So let's talk about that. Number one, from the buyer side. Previously, there wasn't an issue as the buyer agent commission. It was added into that listing fee. It was advertised on the multiple listing service, and everybody kind of saw it. The change is now every offer that is submitted by a buyer, the buyer agent fee needs to be, or the buyer agent commission needs to be negotiated. Another really important part from a buyer standpoint is you really need to have a written agreement before you look at a house or before you get involved in any type of services from a real estate agent regarding buying a home. So you have to have a written agreement that really spells out your relationship with that agent. And then when you submit an offer, your buyer agent on your behalf is either going to ask the seller to pay for it, maybe you have to pay for a portion of it, but again, that buyer agency agreement spells that out. So number two, let's look at it from the listing side. In the past and before that actual lawsuit, a listing agent would come in and talk to a seller about selling their home, and they would be talking about one large fee. Maybe it was 6%, maybe it was 7%, it might have been 5%. But the point being is the seller right then agreed to pay a certain amount for the buyer agent commission. That is no longer the case. If you're a seller or you're considering selling your home, just remember that's negotiable on every offer you get. The big point of it is the listing agent commission and the buyer agent commission have been decoupled, they're handled separate, and you really need to understand that. So if you need some clarity or you got some questions and you're considering that, don't hesitate to reach out to Mark Dietel Realty. We'd be happy to walk you through it, explain to you, answer those questions, and again, let you know there's a pretty big change that happened in the last couple of years, and it's important you understand it when you go into a relationship with either a buyer agent or a listing agent. Thank you very much. Reach out to us at markdietel.com. You're welcome to get a hold of me at any time. I always pass out my number. It's 317-441-7887. Thank you very much.